everybody, it's Julessa again. Today I want to show you how to turn this scrap metal into a wire ingot. That way you can roll it through your rolling mill and make some square wire. So let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is get your ingot set up, and I'm going to be pouring a wire ingot today, so I'm using the little round holes. I also have my crucible, and this is the metal that I'm planning on using. One of the things to keep in mind when you're actually doing your ingot pouring is that you want to use 50% of the total as new material, and then the remainder of it can be scrap. And the reason for that is that you don't want bubbles and you don't want flaking and you don't want to have any problems in your ingot once you've poured it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. The first thing you want to do is get your torch and light it. I want to heat up my mold first. And the reason why I need to heat up my mold is because if you don't and it's got moisture in it, it will actually blow up on you. I've had it happen once. I wasn't paying attention and I didn't heat the mold properly, and next thing I knew, it was blowing up in my face. Thankfully, I was wearing my safety goggles, which by the way, I better put those on. And I was wearing my canvas vest or canvas apron, and that was the only way I saved myself from being burnt pretty badly. Because you have to remember, this metal is going up to 1600 degrees or more than 1600 degrees, and you don't want that blowing up in your face. So I'm going to try and heat this as much as possible to get rid of all the moisture. Part of the reason that I've got a lot of moisture is I live in the south and there's a lot of humidity even inside my home or inside my studio. So I'm going to heat that up pretty well. Now I can see the condensation building up, so I'm just keeping the heat on it until that condensation kind of burns away. Okay, that should be heated up fairly well. Now I'm going to heat up my crucible because I haven't used this yet today, and you don't want to put metal in the crucible and start heating it up because it will crack your crucible. The other thing I have ready is a graphite stick to stir the metal and my borax to keep my metal clean. Now I'm going to heat this up until it's kind of a pinkish color so that I know that it's more than hot enough. I'm going to put a little borax in it. Now this crucible has already been seasoned, which means I've already coated the inside of it with borax. It creates this glassy type covering on it, which keeps the metal from sticking to the crucible. I'm heating this close to my ingot mold too because I want to keep that warm, so that it doesn't build up condensation on it once again. And you'll see me reheating the ingot mold before I pour my metal as well. I'm also going to heat the pouring spout, make sure that that's nice and warm so that when the metal goes over it, it doesn't cool it down. And heat my crucible or my ingot mold a little bit more. I'm going to heat it in through the top, make sure there isn't any condensation on the inside. And now I'm ready to put my metal in. Once I get a little bit warm, I'm going to throw in some more borax. And I can see my metal's turning pink, so I'm going to put some more borax in it. That will help with the melting and the cleaning of the metal as well, because my scrap metal is not the cleanest. You can see that it's starting to melt now. I'm going to get my graphite stick ready, because when it becomes liquefied, I want to pull the impurities out with my graphite stick. And to do that, you have to stir it. And the process of stirring it actually takes some heat out of it, so you want to keep your heat on the metal. Now I'm keeping my flame about 1/4 of an inch above the metal because I want it in the hottest part of the flame, and it's starting to loosen up here. So I'm going to use my graphite stick, turn it around a little bit. There's a little popping going on here. There must have been a little bit more moisture. Now to get it ready, I usually put it on top of my ingot mold and get it ready for pouring. Now I'm going to heat up. And then you want your pour to be quick and smooth. Oh, it didn't all go in there. It got stuck. So I'm going to move over to the next hole in my mold and finish getting the rest of this in there. Now it's not a perfect pour, but it is a pour. Now the one thing you don't want to do is touch it because it's really hot. So I'm going to grab my leather gloves so that I can touch the ingot mold and not burn myself. And I moved the crucible out of my way because I've burnt myself in the past with the crucible. I'm going to unscrew the clamp. Turn the mold around so you can see it. And I'm going to pull it apart. And you can see I've got 2 of them in here. The one that poured partially and then the full pour on this one. And I'm going to use my tweezers, or my tongs, to pull it out of the mold. Let's do this one first. And I'm putting it directly into my quench, just in case it's still hot. Generally the mold will cool it down, but I don't want to burn myself, so. And that's how you pour a mold. Or you pour an ingot, not a mold. Once you've got your ingot poured, sometimes it looks kind of funky like this one. So what I'm going to do is cut off the ends and then check it to see if there's any bubbles or pockets or anything that might actually destroy my ingot. So now that I've cut off the end of my ingot, I'm going to check it for any pockets or bubbles or things that might be irregular inside the pour. And this one seems to be pretty good. I've used half brand new metal and half scrap metal, so the mixture has actually made it very smooth and very clean. So today we turned this scrap metal into a wire ingot. There's 3 things you want to remember. First of all, you want to make sure that your ingot mold is warm enough and hot enough that all the condensation is out of it. Otherwise, it'll explode in your face. Trust me, I've had it done. The second thing you want to remember is that your crucible is hot enough to take the cold metal, melt it, and keep it from sticking to the bottom. And finally, the last thing you want to remember is to cut the ends off of your ingot and check it to make sure that there are no pockets and no holes and no bubbles in it. So hopefully this video has been helpful for you. If so, give me a like, share the video with your jewelry friends, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks everybody, have a good day. Bye. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you for watching.